Well, hello and welcome to our reaction video for Dr. Sleep, the final trailer, Stephen. This is the Ewan McGregor led sequel to the great Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, obviously.
Yes.
The equally great Stephen King novel it's adapted from, Stephen, as well. We reacted to the previous trailer. Very excited to see what the hell's going down in this one. We got a brief glimpse of the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will see more of it in this trailer, because I do have a soft spot for that.
When I was a kid, there was a place.
Accent's a bit dodgy.
A dark place. They closed it down and let it rot. But the things that lived there, they come back.
They do indeed. Lovely shot.
How many ride the bus this far north? You're running away from something?
Good actor, that dude. He was in Fear the Walking Dead, I think. Oh.
I'm running away from myself, I guess.
Little piano note.
You could hear me. Magic. Like me.
I don't know about magic. I was called The Shining. The world is a hungry place. A dangerous place.
These people, they hurt people like us.
Oh. Is that sped up? Oh. Oh.
They're coming. Go on.
Oh, wow. Such a cool shot, that.
Come on.
Yes.
Oh.
Wow.
And then I'll find you. And you will scream for years.
Oh. Oh.
Tell you something, John.
Stephen, was that the strange old woman that appeared to Jack in The Shining there? Was that her arms that were clutching him there? That looks like the old woman.
But I'll tell you something. If I wasn't on board before, I certainly am now. That revealed a lot more than the previous trailers, John.
Indeed.
Where do you begin? We're only talking, 7-8 weeks away before this release. It's saying the 8th of November is the release. So I take it must be the premiere that's been released.
Yeah, 31st of October. Yeah,
probably is. But Ewan McGregor, his accent kind of flits back and forth between what we're used to and obviously that sort of attempt of an American accent. But I'm not going to hold that against him because everything else in this trailer certainly is. It's just amazing visually as well. Some of those shots were just fantastic. You know, that one where he's sliding down the floor. I think we've seen that in the last trailer, but it's just a great shot. The one as well from the girl, she looks like she's falling away from the window. She was getting pulled away from the window as well.
Yeah,
it's a great shot. You're seeing obviously a lot of familiar sort of settings in there as well from The Shining, from that great film as well.
Yeah,
John,
the
maze and the snow as well. That climatic.
Oh,
sort of
I
finish
do
to
hope
that.
that Jack is in this. Good
Well,
Lord, I hope Jack Nicholson and the actual character is in it.
There might be something in there. There might be a vision of him or something, John.
How cool would that be?
I don't know if obviously Jack Nicholson will appear in this. I don't know if he serves a purpose in this. I've not read the novel, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm on board for it. I didn't think I would be. I thought it's a bit of a stretch, you know, for a very successful film from 30, 40 years ago, whatever it was, and having the sequel now. But after seeing that, and obviously that iconic, theme as well is in there as well, John, which is very chilling. So,
well, Stephen, I'm not too sure when the Dr. Sleep novel was penned. It was penned in 1977, And
Right,
no,
okay.
that was his Shining novel. It was a 2013 novel. So
Right.
that will explain
So
why it's
there
been
was
so
that,
long.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not been penned, the actual novel. As we do know, Stanley Kubrick and Stephen King didn't have a great relationship.
No.
He wasn't really happy with the adaptation of The Shining. One of the few times I disagree with Stephen King. I know it didn't focus on the actual shining power of
Yep.
Danny Torrance as much as perhaps it did in the novel, but I love that movie. It was just incredible.
This is
Incredible.
the challenge that this director's got, because he's having to.
Combining the two. Yeah.
Yeah, he's obviously going to, you know, it's going to be based on the Stephen King novel, just like the Shining was. But Stephen King's seems to be the vibes are that he's more positive about this sort of interpretation of that
Yeah.
novel than he was with the Shining. But at the same time, it's going to have that kind of connection to that Stanley Kubrick film as well. So it's a fine balance.
Yeah, Stephen, I hope they get the balance right. We spoke about the director and how he was, I think he was trying to go to the estate of Stanley Kubrick, and then he was also having conversations with Stephen King, and he was trying his best to try and combine these two great performances and works together.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will see that play out on the screen. We'll get to see a combination, a continuation of the great Shining story from the Stanley Kubrick movie, then also earthing in and maybe mining some of the great story and concepts from the actual novel itself. This dive into the powers, the shining powers. It's very intriguing. We see the little girl. We did speak about this previously. Obviously, it's going to be focusing on this nefarious group chasing her, trying to utilise her powers, and then this brings Danny back into the world. He goes to the Overlook Hotel. We see it in the trailer as well. The Overlook Hotel looks incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. It looks like we never left. And I do hope, as I'd said before, without repeating myself again and again and again, we get to see Jack Torrance in there at some point, because one of the all-time great antagonistic characters. If we can see him even falling out or whatever in that maze, then that would be absolutely superb for me as a fan of The Shining. But look, guys, what did you make of the trailer? What did you make of the actual adaptation of The Shining as well? Do you agree with Stephen King? Do you agree with Stanley Kubrick? Are you looking forward to this movie? We hope it will be a more faithful adaptation and closer to the original story and vision of Mr. King. What the hell did you make of our reactions in general? Anything? Comment below if you have anything to say. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And both me and Stephen will be back again for another trailer reaction video.